also known as MYA Yoga London. This is Mark, also known as Shadow Mark. Today we're going to do a quick routine for after your run or after your HIIT session, just to stretch out anything that might be a little tense. If you like the video, please click the thumbs up, give my channel a subscribe, and tell anyone you know who might benefit or like the videos that I produce. Okay, we're going to have to get this guy out of the way and let's begin. So bring the knees as wide as the mat, big toes touching, sit bones are on the heels, and start walking the fingertips down the mat into a child's pose. So we're bringing our forehead down to the mat. While you're here, keep sinking the sit bones back towards the heels. Maybe taking the fingertips a bit further ahead. Taking a few moments here just to look inward. Notice any tension in the body. And start to walk the fingers up. Coming back to seated. We're coming into tabletop. Knees are underneath the hips, wrists are underneath the shoulders. Working through a few pelvic tilts, a few cat-cows. So inhale, tummy comes down, chest comes forward, chin comes up. Exhale, tuck the chin, lift the chest, lift the belly. Inhale, tummy comes down, arch in the spine, chest comes through the arms, chin comes up. Exhale, tuck the chin, lift the chest, lift the belly, press through the palms, press through the tops of the feet. One more time. Great. From tabletop, we're keeping our hips stacked above our knees and we're walking the hands down the mat, forehead to the ground. Puppy pose. If this feels very tight on the shoulders, take the hands as wide as the mat. Allow the chest to come towards the ground, forehead on the mat or chin on the mat. One more deep breath here. Feel the belly inflate next to the thighs. And exhale. Start to walk the hands up. Take the right hand into the center of the mat. Step the right foot outside the right hand. Coming into a lizard lunge. Options to stay here on the palms with the leg lengthened down the mat. Or you can come onto forearms, you can tuck that back toe and lift the back knee. Just working into the hip flexors. Maybe rocking back and forth on the back toes. Take the palms up, drop the back knee, switch it round to the other side. Left hand in the center, left foot on the outside edge next to the left hand. Working into lizard on this side, you might feel a little bit different, so give those options a try and find one that feels accessible today. Working through the hip flexor, feeling any tension in the groin and breathing through. Then drop the knee, press up on the palms and take the foot back to tabletop. From here, bring the right knee behind the right wrist and the right lower leg comes across the mat, across the body. Lengthen out that back leg coming into pigeon pose. So stay on the fingertips here. If there's a lot of space between the right glute and the mat, you can use a brick or a pillow just to give a bit of extra support. And if it feels comfortable or accessible to stay here, then stay here for a few moments. Or you can take it a little deeper by walking the fingertips down the mat, bringing the forehead down to the ground. Breathe deeply through this pigeon, allowing those exhales to travel down to those tight spots. Melting a little bit more. And walk yourself back up. Walk or bring the left leg over this time, and the right leg goes behind. So left leg is probably diagonal, maybe horizontal, below the body, but the left knee is next to the left wrist. So draw up slightly into your pigeon, hips are level, and then start to melt forward. Breathing into that release. Taking deep belly breaths. Feel the belly inflating against your thighs, against your legs. And start to walk the hands back up. Tuck the back toe, lift yourself back to tabletop. From here we're lifting the right arm all the way up to the sky, and then we're threading it underneath the left arm, bringing the right ear down to the mat. And either staying here, hips are stacked above knees, or we can walk left fingertips forward. We can tuck the left back toes and lengthen out the leg. And we can stay in any one of these levels, any one of these options. Just a few breaths here. And take the left hand back down to the mat, lower down the left knee. Lift the right arm all the way up and then place it back on the mat. Moving on to the left hand side, lift that left arm up and thread it underneath the right arm. Take the option that you did on the other side, or maybe experiment a different option on this side. Just see what feels good. Your two sides are never the same. And then after a few breaths, place the right palm back on the mat, lower down the right knee, lift the left arm all the way up, and then come back to tabletop. From tabletop, press the sit bones back towards the heels, and we're going to come round onto our backs. So lower yourself down, and then you're going to grab your strap. If you don't have a strap, maybe you have a belt or a skipping rope or something like that. Lengthen out the right leg down the mat. Lengthen the tailbone. So if you find there's a little arch in the spine and there's space underneath your back, just press the back into the mat. Then take the strap over the ball of the foot, and then bring the shoulders back down to the mat. Then we're going to start drawing the foot. First, from bent, start to straighten the leg as far as you can. And then start to bring the foot closer to the chest. We're keeping our shoulders on the mat still. We're pressing the back into the mat. So slight engagement of the abs. So here for a little bit. Keep engaging through the leg, both legs, even the leg that's lengthened, that foot is flexed, and engage through the abs. And then start to take the foot out to the left hand side and then towards the chest. So it might not go all the way down to the ground. We're just lengthening out the hamstrings. Then take the foot all the way over to the right hand side. Keeping the shoulders still on the mat, drawing the leg towards you. And then come back to center, unhook the foot, switch sides. And if you found it quite difficult to keep that leg lengthened, you can always bend the opposite leg, put the sole of the foot on the mat. I'm going to move through the other side, right hand side for me. Shoulders are on the mat and we're drawing our straightened leg towards our chest. And start to take it out to the side. Left hips might start to lift off of the mat. That's when your right foot will come to the ground. So use your left hand to keep the hip on the ground. You can take the strap in your right hand. And then take the foot over to the other side. Feeling a bit of a different stretch. Noticing how that feels in your body. Maybe closing down the eyes. And draw it all the way back to the top. Unhook the foot from the strap, place it on the side. Take the knees into the chest, roll around on the spine. Take the nose in, give yourself a little hug. Take the hands underneath the thighs, start rolling up. A couple of times to come up seated. Then we're taking the soles of the feet together in front of us. Move the sit bones closer to the heels. Taking the hands above the ankles. Lifting up through our spine. And exhale, fold forward. Press the elbows into the thighs if that's comfortable. Otherwise, elbows come outside of the legs. And we're hinging at the hips forward. Keep the spine long. Gaze ahead at the ground. So probably about 30 to 60 centimeters in front of you. Rather than rounding down, rounding the spine and looking at your feet. And then come back up. Take the knees together, cross the legs. Hands on top of the thighs. Let's take 2 breaths together. Close the eyes, again looking inward. Feeling how our body feels after a little stretch up. Blink open the eyes. Thank you very much for joining me.